Fellas, welcome to my first attempt at actually being able to complete a dual Abyss run on each side for the Spiral Abyss. Now, what I did here, I picked Bennett and Xiao, because Xiao in the first half is really good, able to do a ton of AoE damage. What I'm doing right here is that I'm trying to lure all the Whopper Flowers into one area so I can group them up and plunge them all at the same time, so I don't have to worry about moving around a lot towards them. I'm trying to keep them all in one area instead of having that to move towards them all and damaging them all separately. So I just moved to a wall, bait them in, and it took a couple of tries and a lot of luck, but eventually we did manage to get it done. As you can see right now, the Whopper Flowers did kind of get separated. So what I was trying to do right now is, since they were separated, I might as well just try to use my time well and try to get some energy with all my characters, which is why I'm kind of quick swapping with Bennett and Xiao in between. Now, you might be wondering, I'm using Staff of Homa instead of Favonius Lance, and the reason why I'm doing that is because, as you can see right there, my Bennett does have Favonius Sword activated, so instead of having my Xiao run Favonius Lance and worrying about energy, I have Bennett as my quote-unquote battery for my Xiao, which isn't really ideal, but it did get the job done, surprisingly. Now, the same idea here with these guys. So when they do their elemental transformation or whatever, they are not able to get staggered as much. So before then, I'd try to lure them all into the corner, or both of them into the corner, which is kind of difficult at first because they do get staggered quite a lot. But once they're in the elemental transformation or whatever, they stop being able to get staggered. And right here, since I'm already able to kill one of them by this time, I decided to go for energy and try to get as much as I can while killing them all at the same time, which I was able to do quite quickly. So in this next floor, I decided to go with my Yoimiya Xingqiu, which is probably the best combo I could have thought of to do a duo in this half, because Pyro and having a very good single target DPS is really important on this floor, because you see that cryo aura, right? I feel like having that cryo aura would be kind of a issue if I didn't bring Pyro. I thought bringing Yoimiya would be a perfect opportunity, and having Xingqiu as like a very nice sub DPS and a backup for like survivability, because he does bring damage resist and healing all at the same time, which is really nice for the times that I did like mess up dodging. And so basically right here, for the Ruin Guards and the Ruin Hunter or Greater or whatever, I just had to damage them as much as I can while dodging the Geo waves or Geo attacks at the same time, which was actually not too bad. It was relatively easy. So moving on to the next floor. Alright. Chamber 2. Now, this was arguably the most difficult out of all the three chambers, because these guys, the first half was very annoying, because I did not have much problems getting energy for Bennett and Xiao, because I did have quite a lot from last floor. The most annoying part is, like, these guys don't get staggered a lot, and they do move quite a bit. Having to apply Pyro to melt their cryo shields right away was kind of an issue, and like having them all stay in one area was kind of difficult, but we did manage to get it done with a bit of luck and practice or whatever. Now, this part was a lot more difficult, because having to dodge this while doing damage all at the same time, while trying to not die and survive all at the same time, it's hard, because well, Xiao can get knocked out of his elemental burst or his jumps sometimes, which can waste a bit of time. So we try to get the cryo slime out of the way as fast as we can, while trying to survive this guy at the same time. I tried not to use my burst here so I could save it for the next chamber, which honestly, surprisingly, Xiao's physical damage wasn't too bad here, and the cryo aura for like this chamber was actually a little bit annoying, but eventually we did manage to get this chamber done right there. So the next part, the Magu Kanki, honestly I'm surprised that this was the easier part of the chamber, believe it or not. This actually took me first try to beat the Magu Kanki because I'm so used to fighting this guy, and it's not a Spiral Abyss without him, right? So basically, classic rotations, burst with Xingqiu, get his energy back. I tried to keep my distance away from the Magu Kanki, even though I do know he blocks his attacks. I just wanted to prioritize safety over damage, because it was only the first phase. Now, I do use Yoimiya's burst, which I do think is not really too much of a waste, because the iframes are really important. The survivability in a two-man team is really important. So, and I'm really surprised that my Yoimiya has enough energy to regenerate her burst while using Shimenawa's all at the same time. Now right here, it's all about trying to dodge. I think I messed up right here. Yeah, I did. And the Cryo Aura does mess me up a little bit. So I think I messed up iframes right there as, yeah, I did. And I got frozen right there as well. That's okay. I dodged right here though. Yeah, that's awesome. So getting used to dodging the Magu Kanki is one of the biggest things to know how to do. And right here, you can see I'm doing the charge attack cancel thing with Yoimiya, which helps me increase my DPS, but I don't have to waste a dash instead. Now, right here, I kind of like messed up a little bit and I used my elemental burst, and I wasn't able to get the energy back right here, so it's gonna cause a little bit of trouble, but moving on to the next chamber. Last but not least, or chamber 3 rather. Now, we got kind of lucky with the cards. What I did here, I was somehow able to get enough energy from last floor, and I just needed one tap E to actually get Bennett's burst back. And I try to lure these guys into a small corner, try to get them all in the same area just to stagger them all at once, because these guys do get pushed back quite a bit with Xiao's plunge, so I tried to damage them all at once. This part of the chamber right here, the first half, was kind of what determines how good the first or the second half goes, because if I'm not able to go as fast as I can right here, I feel like I wouldn't have enough time to do damage to the mechanical array, which is probably like the most tankiest enemy in the game by far. And this part, the Magu Kanki, just use iframes and know how to dodge, getting used to practice and stuff, and trying to get a little bit of luck here, especially on this part, because depending on which of the 4 robots we get really determines our run. And what I did at the beginning, since I didn't have energy for Xingqiu, I didn't use his burst right away because I felt like it would mess up my rotations even more, which is why I saved it for the next rotation right here. And honestly, when I was trying to record this and practice these runs, sacrificial sword procs were not really in my favor. So when these robots spawned, I was praying so much that we wouldn't get the tanky one or the snake, because those are the most tanky ones and the most annoying one to deal with. So right here, I just decided to go as fast as I can while trying to get some energy left. And I wasn't really worried about Yoimiya's energy too much. I was more worried about Xingqiu's energy. But luckily we did have our burst up, and since we had a lot of time on our hands, I decided just to play it a little bit patient, get his energy back, and just wait it out a little bit, and then when I had enough energy for Xingqiu's burst, or just had enough time to actually use his elemental skill, I just decided to have it go then. And see, we still have around a minute left, so I thought taking my time there was a little nice. And then, yeah, from this part on, I honestly thought we had a lot of time on our hands, which was really surprising, because this is probably around the fastest time that I've actually done this boss, which is honestly really impressive to me, because I'm honestly surprised I was able to do this with 2 characters, with like relatively a lot of time on my hands. And yeah, that was a GG. I'm honestly surprised that I was able to do this, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and on to the builds. Alright, on to my beloved character builds. Right now, you see my crit ratio for my Xiao and animal damage bonus. I didn't have that much ER, surprisingly, and I'm using Staff of Homa because I thought damage was a lot more important there. I'm using his new 4-piece set that we got last patch. It's not the best, but it is usable. I haven't gotten a good Animo damage circlet just yet. He is C1 and Triple Crowned because he is my boy and I love using him. Benny, um, his crit ratio is up there because I think his crit rate was really important to proc Favonius Sword, just so I can get the elemental particles to funnel into Xiao. I am using 4-piece Noblesse because I really wanted to focus on damage and support on my Bennett. I also tried to give him a sub DPS build just to have him focus on damage and just get a bit extra damage in there because every single bit of damage did help. Now, Yoimiya, basically a 1 to 2 ratio, very, very close. I'm using an R3 Rust, which is probably the best weapon I have. I am gonna plan on going for Thundering Pulse if the leaks are true and Thundering Pulse is gonna be on her weapon banner, and if she is gonna get a rerun, she is double crowned. And now, last but not least, we have my Xingqiu, which is I don't think his build is all too good. He has a less than 50% crit rate, which doesn't really matter because he's just there to apply Hydro. He has 206 ER, which I think is really more than enough. I think Energy Recharge was the main priority to go here. And using Emblem Set, of course, that is his best in slot. Right, and we got C6, and those are his talents. Everyone, I hope you enjoy. As of now, I'm trying to reach 1.5 to 2k subs by the end of the month, and yeah, remember to sub, like if you haven't. Hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.